Welcome back to Let's See with April B. Today we are going to be talking about something that's very important that all businesses, especially contractors, should be doing. And that is sending out monthly newsletters. And you might be thinking, why? Why is that important? Given this day and age when we receive so much email, why would a monthly email newsletter help my business at all? And that's a great question. So, a few things. One, we want to make sure that the monthly newsletter is going out to only clients, those that have done business with you. So they already know, like, and trust you, and you just want to keep in touch with them. We want to stay top of mind to them. We know this. So we don't want them to forget about us 3 months down the road and say, oh, yeah, look around. This was a fantastic painting job that they did. But I don't remember who it was when your guests come over and they're like, hey, this is great. So we want to make sure that you stay top of mind. And the other thing is we don't want to be sending coupons or discounts to those clients. What we want to do is they already know, like, and trust you. These are people that you want to do business with again, and they will want to do business with you again in the future when they need you, but they may not need you right now. So what we want to do is stay top of mind to them by sending them something that they actually want to open, that's actually helpful for them in the here and now. They don't need to be thinking about painting or whatever your service is every single month, right? So once they do a painting project, let's say you've painted their exterior, there may be some interior work that you could do, but you're more than likely not going to be painting for them every month or even every 2 months or 3 months or 6 months, maybe once a year. But you do want to become their lifelong painter. So you want to make sure that you're establishing that relationship. So what we do is we send out a very customer-centric newsletter. And what that means is that it's an email that the customer actually wants to receive. So we start with a friendly greeting of some kind if it's appropriate. For example, the holidays have passed, but when the holidays are around, sending some kind of a year-end greeting or a Thanksgiving greeting or things like that. But just touching base in that way with a little bit of a touch point. Not every month do you have to say, hey, this month the holidays are whatever, and we're so thankful for you, blah, blah, blah. You want to make sure that you're just being genuine in all of your communication. So you start with either a touch point or you start with local events. And if you would like an example of this, I can forward that to you. Just send me your email, and you can just email me at april@aprilburnett.info, and I'll forward you some example newsletters. But we start with local events to your clients. So they click on it and they actually see events that are going on near them. Oh, great. That's what's going on this month if they care to look at that. Maybe they don't really care what's going on. You're going to send them a new recipe to try, something that looks good for this month. It could be something to do with the holidays. It doesn't have to be, but something that looks interesting to try. So a recipe, and sometimes it's just eye candy. They're looking at the picture of the food and like, yeah, that looks yummy. And then the next thing we want to send them, but in that email. So we've got local events, then we've got a recipe, and then we want to have a comedy, some kind of either a comic or a comedian in a video clip. You can link to the full, if it's like an hour special or whatever, but we want to connect with people, and sometimes they just need a laugh. A lot of people like to watch comedy, and if you can send them something that's clever, that you didn't have to make, that you enjoy, that got made you smile, and you just send that along to them. Because in this day and age, we also need just that comedy relief and that lightheartedness. And so we're bringing comedy back to a monthly newsletter. So comedy, and then the next thing is the Pro Corner. Now, if you have your own blog, this is where you'll highlight your own blog information. So you'll have an image that has a title with a link to your blog post, whatever that is. So it's your pro tip, it's your whatever your blog is. We can pick the best articles, the ones that have gotten the most views, and we can use those in your newsletters and promote them. Just helpful, handy things, right? So tips on how to have a smooth caulk line, how to have, even though your customers may not be the ones painting, it's nice to know, hey, how do you get a straight line? How do you get your cutting in to look so nice? And how do you do proper prep work? Things like that. And you can also do frequently asked questions. Those are a great hit and are very, it's like a little bit of information and it's right from you. So those are great. If you don't have your own blog, then we can actually link to a pro, and not that you're not a pro. So we can put a pro tip from someone else. I like to use YouTube Shorts for that. So it can be a designer, it can be a handy household tip, it can be a painting tip. One of the ones that I really liked, is very visually appealing too, was how this person had put painter's tape in a V like on the paint can, and then when they poured, it always poured nicely and didn't do the, when you pour paint into a bucket or a tray, you always get that nice, use your paintbrush and get the slop that spills down the side. So I thought that was really interesting and visually appealing. So you send them something like that, something that's handy. What I've enjoyed doing now is sending out those, I don't know if you've seen him, his name is Adam something, but he has these eyes and they are so like curious, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe like what is going on here. And he keeps seeing these things that are like either interesting, shocking, or whatever, and they're really fun. So I like to put those in there and have like one of them was, he was so shocked about these handy tips. For example, one was a bathroom that had a big tall mirror on the side of the wall, and then you slid the mirror and it was a nice cupboard. So lots of extra storage space and you didn't see it. So it was very cool. So it showed them building that and whatnot, just super short. So that is really cool. Pro Corner. And then you have your own video testimonial or just Google review section. And you say, what are customers saying about us? And then I like to say underneath that, maybe you'll be featured next, because these are sent out to our customers already. So if we haven't received a video testimonial, maybe we'll get one. So that's really handy. And then, of course, there's always a link to book a free estimate. Now, there's no other sales. There's a logo at the top, and that links to the website. The button to book you links to your booking platform. You can book me or to your website if that's embedded, which is great, and I highly recommend that. So that is basically an outline of the newsletter. Again, the point is to stay top of mind, to be customer focused. What do they want? They don't need to hear about jobs that you're doing or discounts you have and things like that. It's just something to stay top of mind. It's got your logo on it. And of course, oh yeah, if they ever forget, they know that, oh, I'll get an email from them, or they can forward that email on to their friends. Okay. So that's the monthly newsletter that you send out to your clients. But April, I have leads. Can't I send them a newsletter as well or something? Absolutely. Can you send them the newsletter? In my opinion, it's spammy and it's going to ruin your email list. But I do have clients that do that, and their unsubscribe rate is no different than anyone else's with just customers on that, and their open rate is great. So it can happen. It's not the norm. So typically you want to send the newsletters to customers, but what can you send those that you have their information, but they never actually, you maybe did an estimate for them, or maybe you didn't, but they didn't sell, they didn't buy. The job didn't get bought. That's a weird way to say that. They didn't buy from you. They didn't book a job. Okay. So what can you send them? This is where SMS campaigns come in super handy. And again, we are not going to send them things that are all about us. We've got to think GIE. So G.I. Joe, GIE, and then just add an extra E at the end. So gratitude, inspiration, education, or entertainment, right? You want that. That's like, again, the newsletters, that's why it works so well, because you are using that not, hey, don't forget about, here's a sale. Hey, we're having a Memorial, Labor Day, all these different sales. They just come to expect that they'll always get a coupon from you. No, it's GIE, gratitude, inspiration, education, or entertainment. And the same thing with text messages. And here's the kicker. One of the best things you can do for SMS campaigns all year round is to do a paint it forward, or if I have a client who does decks, so deck it forward is what we're calling it. And so the pay it forward concept, right? Your business, whatever you do, lawn it forward, cut it forward. I'm not sure how you would landscape it forward, things like that. Plow it forward. Do you do a snow plow? I don't know. Anyway, be creative. So the pay it forward concept. So you send out a text saying that, hey, we're looking for nominations. And of course, you only you can have as many characters as you want. You just end up paying more for it. But the SMS campaigns, the texting campaigns work really well for this. And so what you want to do is find out, well, I'll say you find out, but I already know what I prefer to use. MailChimp is number one in this regard. There are other platforms that do it. It's just so cumbersome. Is that the right word? Cumbersome? Clumsy? And it's not easy to use. So what you want is something that's simple to use so that you will use it, right? So MailChimp does a great job. You can apply for the phone number for texting campaigns, and they will give you the phone number. The application's there, the phone number. You have to have terms and conditions. You have to have all these things, and they will write that for you. You just say, I don't have it. They write it for you. You agree to it. You can change it if you want to. And then boom, 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 just nice process. And then you can text your clients, and then you can reply back to them within that platform as well. You buy credits with them. It's super cheap. The last I saw it was like $25 for 2,500 text messaging SMS credits. And it's about 3 credits per message per client. It varies. You can do one message, 1 credit per message, but what that usually is no logo, and then a really short, very tiny wording, right? But what I like to do is definitely start with use a logo, great wording, and a link. And that's about 3 SMS credits per send. But still at $25 for 2,500, still a great deal. At any rate, once you send that one that has your logo in it, every message has your company name or your name in it. So that is great. You don't sign it or write that. It automatically populates with that. So you want to start with your logo, then do your message and link. Maybe you don't have a link, but I highly recommend that when you send out a text message, you either send them to the Paint It Forward or Deck It Forward form to fill out, or your Google Calendar to book an estimate, because that's going to make it so that they don't have to reply to the text message, because every reply you do costs you an SMS credit. But if you send them somewhere, then they just either click the link or they don't click the link. You're not going to get as many replies. Okay, but so we've got newsletters monthly, then we've got SMS campaigns all year round, but SMS campaigns, especially around Thanksgiving and Christmas, work really well. And again, you can do the Paint It Forward and you're looking for nominations. Again, you're not asking for a sale. You're actually asking them to help you help someone else. So they're more likely to respond to it. And that is great. What was I going to, my thought train just went in a different direction. Okay, anyway, so SMS, Thanksgiving. Okay, yeah. One of the things we did this Thanksgiving for a client was to send out just a notification that every time someone booked an estimate during the up until like 2 days before Thanksgiving, they were going to buy a family in need Thanksgiving dinner. And that sounds like, oh my goodness, how are you going to do that? That sounds like a lot of work. Walmart does this. You can donate money and they will feed a family in need. It's $50. They get the whole meal together and they send it to them. And I'm not exactly sure how the distribution works, but all you have to do is then go buy it. So every single estimate then that gets booked between those 2 weeks, you go and you get a meal at Walmart for the family in need. So it's super easy to do that one. So around Thanksgiving and Christmas that's a great time to do that kind of thing because one, again, you're giving value, you're not asking for something, and you're booking your estimate calendar when typically those times are slim because it's the holidays. Who wants to have an estimate around the holidays? Not a whole lot of people. That's why it tends to be a little bit slower. So it's a great way to beef up your booking calendar and close more jobs while helping other people. So that's the SMS campaign, especially around the holidays. And it works super well. All right, the other things I wanted to talk about. So monthly newsletter, SMS campaigns. I do recommend one campaign a month. That way you send it to all your leads and all your customers as well. That's like one giant list. The newsletter monthly goes out just to contacts. Oh, yeah. So then using an email platform such as MailChimp or ActiveCampaign, my two top favorites to use for email platforms, you want to set up an automation. I think it's called a flow in MailChimp. They might have changed it to automations now. Anyway, so super easy, but set up an automation so that when someone books an estimate with you, first of all, nail down your life of a lead and zap everything that you can. There's no reason for double entry. That's a whole nother topic for another time. Zapier. Yeah, we can talk about that. So, where was I? I just lost my train of thought again. Anyway, random thoughts just keep popping in my head. Okay, anyway. Monthly newsletters, SMS campaigns, automations. Yeah. So before you actually get to the estimate, you want to turn those, it might be a cold lead, right? It might be someone who's booked you from your website who just did a Google search. They're not all warm referrals, but you can turn every cold lead into a warm sale, a hot lead. Warm sale. No, you don't want that. You want a hot lead, hot sale. You want someone, what it does is it turns them from cold into like they already want and know that they want to work with you. So they just need you to show up at the estimate. And there's a series of emails that go out in that. So that's the automations. It's called the pre-selling email sequence. If you're a DYB member. And it's still called that. You can call it whatever you want to. Anyway, a series of emails that turn your leads into already sold. Cold to sold is what I like to say. So that is a series of 6 emails. You can chunk it down to 2 if you find that your estimate calendar isn't getting booked every week full. So you're not booking out for next week. You're booking in the next couple of days. We can make it so that it goes out in time. But it's great information that people want to know. Again, we do business with those that we know, like, and trust. And so what this does is it gives them that information. And guess what? It's also a great filter because if at the end of that, they don't want to do business with you, you don't want to do business with them either. It's a win-win. Okay, so that's the email, pre-selling email. When there's another automation that there's so many automations you can do, but another suggested one is for new hires. So someone you've hired, you send the same information to every new hire. It's got the W-2, it's got the emergency contact information, it's got your etc. All the things that you send them. And that can be automated. Oh, QuickBooks Time, if you're using that. And I'm sure we're pretty much all on QuickBooks Online by now, almost. And so it has the information that they'll need for that so that they can log in, how to do that, etc. New employee handbook, etc. So all of that, it's the same thing every time. So why not automate it? And again, we should always be hiring because that's the bottleneck now is hiring, right? So let's always be hiring and let's make that streamlined so that's not reinventing the wheel every time you have that'd be funny if the mic was off this whole time. I'm just not talking. I'm talking, but nobody's here. Oh, that happens a lot, but okay. So what else? That's really what I wanted to talk about for ActiveCampaign. Now, and MailChimp. So those two are the best ones. Can we use Constant Contact? Yes, it's a drag, but I do use it. Can I use Go High Level? Yes, it's a drag. I don't like it, but I can use it. there are others, and they all have, people that love them. Fantastic. For me, MailChimp and ActiveCampaign, I like Streamline. What's that book? Don't Make Me Think. That, not that we don't want to think, but when it comes to our businesses, like, let's streamline as much as possible so that we can spend our time and our energy and our resources doing the work that only we can do. Okay, that's that. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Should I show you a few? Sounds good. Maybe some other time. This recording is really long. I don't even know if it's going to be good because I feel like I'm not as animated as I usually am. Okay, well, this is me signing off. Have a great day. Bye-bye.